cream all over my face from my dermatitis, Chloe. You see that shit? These fucking hormones are all out of whack. Alright, so let's see what's up.
What's up, Casey here with Living Youthful. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Today we're just jumping into a quick topic. We're finally going to break down the 5x5 vial of CJC 1295 and IPAMORELIN. Nobody else has broken down this vial this way or accurately explained the 5x5 vial, so I'm just going to do it today. Finito. No more questions. If your anti-aging doctor, because you are responsible and you went and got your blood work done, tells you to do 500 micrograms a day, or if you are researching 500 micrograms a day of CJC 1295 and IPAMORELIN out of the blend, that is going to be 10 doses. 10 doses. If your anti-aging doctor has you on 250 researching 250 micrograms a day, that is going to be 20 doses in that 5x5 vial. Gosh damn man, this guy finally explained it. He finally explained it. This is the easiest and most accurate. I'm telling you. When I went to my anti-aging doctor, he started me off on 500 micrograms of each peptide. He told me to put 1 ml into the 5x5 vial, extract to the 10 mark, and that's going to be 500 micrograms of CJC, and it's going to be 500 micrograms of IPAMORELIN. It's not going to be 250 of each peptide equaling 500. It's 500 micrograms of each peptide. On that, okay?
Blah, 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 blah.
I started off doing 500 micrograms, getting incredible benefits. I felt great. I heard that you can split the dosage and do 250 in the morning and 250 in the evening. So I wanted to try this protocol. If I only put 1 ml into the 5x5 vial and want to extract 250, it's going to tell me to pull to the 5 mark. That's for accurate and easy extraction. So the best thing we can do...
Why is this just so laggy, dude? Laggy as fuck.
...is add 2 ml. Now the 10 mark is going to be 250 micrograms, which it's really easy to pull to as opposed to the 5. And so you can split your dosage. You can do 250 micrograms in the morning, 250 micrograms in the evening, pulling to that 10 mark. Let's just say you want to do one big 500 microgram dose. Then you can just pull to the 20 mark, and that's going to be 500 micrograms of each peptide. What's the one thing we know about peptides? They're very fragile, because every single time that you put the water in, you have to be very, very delicate, so that way you don't ruin the peptides. I do get a lot of questions on this. People want to put 3 ml. They want to put 4 ml. Let's just say you want to put 3 ml, okay? Because you heard this is what you're supposed to do.
Right, so this is what I was looking for, my guy. I was looking for, like, you know, like what it does and shit. Like, that's why I didn't click dosing, bro. Let's see. I love the Greg Doucette. This guy's smart as fuck, dude.
There's really only one smart choice for chefs, and that's titanium. Hi, I'm Jeremy Solomon,
and so what I have for you today is a tier list on the use of peptides, and this is my opinion, and so if you don't agree with me, then too bad. My opinion is more valid than yours. So if you're watching this video, this is what I think of each of these peptides, and use it the way you want. And so in tier 3, it's maybe I might use it, maybe there's some benefit, we're not really sure, whatever. It's not that exciting for me. Tier 2, it's probably going to be a benefit. I could see myself using this. Maybe I'm going to use this. Tier 1, it's absolutely useful. I should probably be using this right now. And S tier, there's no way I shouldn't be using this. Everyone should be using this. Just a no-brainer. And so first up, let's do IGF-1. I'm going to drag this, and where is it going to go? It's going in tier 3. You're probably thinking it had to be tier 1. IGF-1 can help you build muscle, but here's the thing. I've used IGF-1 for years. I used to pin it in my biceps or my chest or my quads. Every single workout, I'd go to the gym and I'd train, I'd pin it right before going. I don't want to pin all the time. And so for me, I'm not interested in doing that. Now, for you, if you want to build muscle that's really important to you, then by all means, I got enough muscle. I'm racing bikes, and so I'm not going to start injecting myself with IGF-1 every single day. Next up is a semi-glutide. I'm putting it in tier 3. I don't need to lose weight. Semaglutides have been shown to potentially have people to lose muscle, and so that's something I want to avoid. One thing it really does well is it dramatically reduces your appetite, but I don't need to dramatically reduce my appetite, and so for me, it's a tier 3. I would suggest that if you're perhaps have type 2 diabetes, you're 50 or 100 pounds overweight, that this can make a dramatic difference in your life. It could be a game changer. But for me, I'm racing bicycles. I lift weights all the time. I don't want to lose muscle. And so for me, it's not something that I'm personally going to use. Next up is tesofensine, which is similar to semaglutide. Where am I going to put this one? I'm putting it in tier 2 here. The reason it's in tier 2 and not in tier 1 is this one hasn't been shown to cause you to lose muscle. There's no real evidence to say that if you use this product, you're going to lose muscle. It does, however, decrease your appetite. And so one thing I don't like is being really hungry. If I'm really hungry, then I'm going to want to eat. As a cyclist, it really does matter how much I weigh. If I'm 200 pounds, I'm going to go slower on the bike than if I'm, for example, 185 pounds. And so I like the idea of being able to use a peptide that's going to help me not only be less hungry, but potentially have me in a better mood. And so the benefits of tesofensine, for me, it's something that I probably would want to experiment with just to see. And so if you're somebody that's on the fence of semaglutide, you're thinking, I don't want to be as hungry, but I'm scared of the side effects. I don't really want to get as nauseous. I'm a little bit nervous about that aspect, and I certainly don't want to lose muscle. Then I would absolutely go with tesofensine over the semaglutide. Next.
Tesofensine.
Of course, my cookbook is at the top of the list, the top of the top. It's a no-brainer. I'm going to be using my cookbook. Now, if I didn't have my cookbook, I'd probably have to be on a semaglutide or a tesofensine to stay as lean as I do. But by incorporating the meals in my cookbook, being in a calorie deficit, it's very easy to not only lose weight, but to be less hungry and be more full. BPC 157, it's joining up with my cookbook. They're best friends now. The reason BPC is in there is because I get injured a lot of the times, and I'm old and I'm very active, and I've put a lot of abuse on my body. I was a power lifter. I did about 70 powerlifting competitions. There's a lot of wear and tear on my body. I've had surgeries. I'm a beat up 48-year-old. I want to be like the Wolverine. And so why not use the Wolverine stack? And so I've been using BPC 157, primarily my shoulder. There's always some nagging injury. And so I absolutely see that as S tier, that it can benefit anyone that's looking to prevent injuries, to feel better, and to get back to the gym and train harder than last time. And of course,
Okay, for one, TB500, there it is. So in order for it to be the Wolverine stack, it has to be BPC 157, which is body protected compound 157, and TB500 together. It has to be blended. They have to take them together for them to have the Wolverine stack. BPC 157 is already found in the gut, so it's already in the body. This is just adding to it. It's something that helps you heal injuries and ligaments and all that stuff. But in order for you to have a optimal result, you need both together. So what he's talking about, the Wolverine stack, he's probably going to put this one at S next to BPC 157 because the Wolverine stack doesn't exist without both being together.
how can you have BPC 157 in there without having TB500? They're best friends. It's literally the Wolverine stack. TB500, I believe it's now called Thymosin Beta 4. They're switching names on us just so that we can't keep track of what these things actually are. I'm in fact taking both of these things right now. If you're a person that's injured, or you're a powerlifter, or just getting hurt, it doesn't even matter if you're not a weightlifter. If you're a runner and you've got sore legs or whatever, this can help you to recover from injuries and get back to the gym. And so I strongly recommend it. Next up, glutathione. And where is this guy going to go? Where is it going to fall? I'm putting it at the top tier here, tier 1. And the reason I'm not putting it in the S tier is because if I had to choose between these two, I'm choosing not being injured. Now, glutathione is the most powerful antioxidant in the human body. So if you're somebody that perhaps was using steroids in the past, or your liver is a bit screwed up, this can help alleviate that problem. And so aside from some of the anti-aging properties, what I really like about this is it can help prevent you from getting sick. It essentially helps with your immune system. And so if you're a guy like me who's been sick probably 6 times in the last year, it seems like I'm sick all the time. And so if you use glutathione, it can help prevent you from getting that sickness, keep you in the gym. And so absolutely, I'm getting glutathione in tier 1. And tesamorelin, this peptide, where is it going to go? I'm going to have it in tier 2. One thing you may not know is this peptide is actually FDA approved. So it's literally allowed to be.
Anyways, let's go back to the, how long have I been recording this shit already? 7 minutes? Not bad. But we're getting off topic here. I'm supposed to be taking CJC 12.5 with IPAMORELIN. So this guy looks like he's just trying to sell a fucking product. It's one of the most talked about peptides. Let's check out this one, cuz.
CJC1295, aka Samorelin's longer-lasting cousin, the growth hormone booster promising fewer injections and steadier results. Spoiler, still gentle, still subtle, but way more convenient. First off, what exactly is CJC1295? Developed in the mid-2000s by Conjugem Biotechnologies, CJC1295 is a modified growth hormone-releasing hormone analog. Think Samorelin on steroids, but not literally so you can relax. It often features a drug affinity complex, or DAC, that significantly extends its half-life, meaning you can dose it once or twice weekly instead of daily. So why would you pick CJC1295? The first off is sustained GH boost. Stable increases in growth hormone production for smoother results. It offers better sleep, improved skin quality, mild fat loss, and subtle lean mass gains. The next is fewer injections. Due to the extended half-life, about 5 to 7 days when coupled with DAC, you inject less often than traditional Samorelin, making it way more convenient. Third is its built-in safety mechanism. Like Samorelin, CJC1295 boosts your natural GH release, but it's still regulated by your body's own somatostatin, making overdosing highly unlikely. But let's adjust expectations accordingly. CJC1295 is subtle. Don't expect dramatic muscle growth or overnight miracles. It's anti-aging at a comfortable cruise, not full throttle. Street dosing reality check. Typical dosing ranges from 1 to 2 milligrams weekly with DAC, split into 2 injections, providing consistent GH elevation without daily pinning. Now, without DAC, you're looking at daily dosing, somewhere around 100 to 300 micrograms per dose. Side effects are usually minor and include mild flushing, occasional headaches, and maybe transient water retention, but nothing remotely resembling GH-style side effects like swollen joints or facial growth. Bottom line, CJC1295 offers gentle, consistent GH elevation and fewer injections with built-in safety from somatostatin's natural regulation. Ideal if you're seeking convenient anti-aging benefits without dramatic or risky side effects. That's CJC1295. Long-lasting convenience, gentle results. Proceed accordingly.
Ooh, la, la, la.
My day keeps going, that's why I just might break your fucking face tonight. Give me
CJ.
That was random as fuck. Anyways, I go back to fucking whatever. CJC 1295 with
This is what your ear looks like, filled with wax. Here's a cotton swab. Watch. It just pushes the wax in. Whoosh. The new, safe, and effective way to clean your ears. Just whoosh the wax out.
Weight gain, fatigue, injuries, or just age-related decline, many of us are left feeling frustrated for real solutions. But what if there was a way to harness our own body's power, a way to naturally stimulate in growth hormone, opening doors for better muscle growth, effective fat loss, improved recovery, and many other anti-aging benefits? Enter CJC 1295, a peptide that's on the cutting edge of health science. Many peptide researchers are thinking that CJC 1295 can fill a crucial gap in hormone optimization and offer a promising alternative that supports our body's regenerative properties without harsh consequences. Join me as we take a deep dive into CJC 1295, where I'll be sharing all my research and discoveries on this amazing compound. So before I begin, I must start off with a disclaimer that I'm not a doctor. That all the information in this video is purely for educational and entertainment reasons. Any health concerns you may have or questions, please seek out a licensed profession and do not use this video. Thank you for agreeing. Now let's get straight into this video. So what is CJC 1295? Well, it falls into the category of being a GHRH, a growth hormone releasing hormone. It's still a peptide, but this peptide helps the body create and release more growth hormone. Additionally, it stays in the body for 6 to 8 days, which is not the case for MODGRF 129. CJC 1295 contains DAC, drug affinity complex, which is why it can stay in the body for 6 to 8 days. So what's the difference between CJC 1295 and ModGRF 129? And this is a big confusion I see a lot. And pretty much what happened is that CJC 1295 became the popular name, and now everyone just knows that. Not many people know about ModGRF 129. But pretty much the real name, it's actually the real compound, CJC 1295 contains DAC, drug affinity complex, which allows the peptide to stay in the body up to 6 to 8 days. ModGRF 129, if the real version, just stays in the body for maybe 10 minutes, but it goes up to the receptors, activates them, then leaves, while CJC 1225 attaches onto the receptors for multiple days, which you're later going to learn has stronger effects. But for some reason, I see many people in companies saying they're the same thing, and they'll just say that CJC 1225 is just ModGRF 129, and then the real CJC 1225 is CJC 1225 with DAC, which is just confusing. So it's important to clarify that is CJC 1225, is that with DAC, which means that is the real compound, or is it without DAC, which is actually ModGRF 129, because ModGRF 129 was the initial peptide discovered and created, and then came along CJC 1225 with DAC because the researchers wanted a stronger response. And now I want to touch on the differences between a GHRP and a GHRH. So a GHRH is a growth hormone releasing hormone, which is what CJC 1225 is. And the peptides mainly focus on creating more growth hormone. It do help the body release growth hormone, but the main focus is creating growth hormone mostly by working on the pituitary gland. Then the GHRPs, which is a growth hormone releasing peptide, mostly help the body release growth hormone by targeting receptors to release it, such as ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. And actually, when you're hungry, you actually release growth hormone, and other receptors to help the body release growth hormone. This is why together a GHRH with a GHRP have such a strong synergistic effect, and is why it's commonly paired together in the peptide community. So how does CJC 1295 work? Well, it goes up to the pituitary gland and tells the body to create more growth hormone. And sometimes that will be released, but not always, which is why oftentimes these peptides, a GHRH, are paired up with a peptide that helps release growth hormone because it inhibits somatostatin. However, though, CJC 1295 stays in the body up to 6 to 8 days, meaning that eventually the body will release the growth hormone because CJC is creating growth hormone, and then eventually your body will release it, but now there's more to release. And that will keep happening for 6 to 8 days. Well, CJC is like, okay, make more growth hormone, your body's making more growth hormone, and then eventually it gets released because you have no food in your stomach or whatever happens, and then it continues. However, though, if ModGRF 129 is being used, which has a very short half-life, this is why I think it's best to combine with a GHRP to ensure that when the peptide goes up to the pituitary gland, it tells your body to create more growth hormone, your body will create it and release it at the same time to have a very strong synergistic effect. I'm not too concerned about CJC because it stays in the body for 6 to 8 days. So short summary, CJC 1295 goes up to your pituitary gland and tells the body to create more growth hormone, and will be in your body up to 6 to 8 days or on the receptors, telling your body, create growth hormone, create growth hormone, create growth hormone. So what are the research benefits of CJC 1295? Well, it has one main benefit and then has many downstream benefits. And the main benefit is that it helps the body create more growth hormone. I mean, the body is doing the work, and with more growth hormone, it's often called the hormone of vitality. This can lead to building more muscle, burning more fat, sleeping better, better immune response, better skin health, and overall helping the body rejuvenate, because growth hormone is the hormone of vitality. So what are the research side effects of CJC 1295? As you're going to learn, this has more side effects than ModGRF 129 because it stays in the body up to 6 to 8 days. The first side effects I've studied and seen have been water retention, facial flushing, joint pain, and these are pretty common just with higher levels of growth hormone. Another side effects, which is also could be a benefit depending, is having super physiological levels of growth hormone, which pretty much means levels above healthy range. Some people think it's a pro, some people think it's a con. Another side effect I've seen is saturation of the receptors or overuse of the receptors, and this is largely because CJC 1295 stays in the body for multiple days. Now let's go into the research, dosing, and cycling. And I've done a lot of research on this peptide, and when I first discovered it, my idea of how to use it has changed until today. So from my opinion, from my research and just my experience, it seems anywhere from 1 to 5 mgs a week, which is a pretty large reference, and it largely depends on the individual response. Additionally, it can either be done in large doses, or like 1 large dose once a week, or 2 large doses twice a week, or small injections done every single day. It really depends on the goal. However, though, it seems that doing small injections every single day will lead to the strongest response of growth hormone, which is not always a good thing. So pretty much 1 to 5 mgs per week as a total dose, and then taking that total amount and splitting it down into whatever is the best response for the individual goal. So let's say, for example, I thought 2 mg twice a week is the best for me. So maybe I do 1 mg on Monday and 1 mg on Thursday. Or maybe I'm like, hey, I just want to do 1 injection per week. So maybe I do 2 mgs every Monday. Or let's say I want to do 5 injections per week. So then I would do 400 micrograms for 5 days. I know it's a little confusing. That's one thing you're going to learn about peptides. There's like a general idea of dosing and cycling, but there's so much room to explore and discover, and as well so much when it comes to individual response. And then for the cycling, I've seen anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to 4 to 8 weeks off. Personally, I would stick to shorter cycles just to really prevent any saturation of the receptors with longer off cycles. And last note on this is that there will be the highest response from this peptide when taken on an empty stomach, because growth hormone can't be released if there's food in the body, specifically carbs and fats. So to summarize dosing and cycling, 1 to 5 milligrams per week, and that can be done either in 1 large dose or many small doses taken every single day. It largely depends on the individual response. Cycling anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks on, 4 to 8 weeks off. Preferably, I stick towards the shorter cycles with this peptide. Now let's go to other peptides I would take with CJC-1225. First would be some kind of GHRP, like IPAMORELIN or GHRP6, to help the body release more growth hormone. Next peptide would be IGF-1-LR3. This is an amazing peptide for building muscle, so I would definitely add this in if my main goal was building muscle. Some other peptides to look into could be TP500, BPC-157. Those greatly help just with full body recovery. Another peptide would be PEG-MGF, specifically if I really wanted to focus on muscle recovery, because PEG-MGF really shines with muscle recovery. Another peptide I would look into is Kispeptin-10, which does many wonderful things at increasing FSH and LH, which help a lot with testosterone and can really complement growth hormone. And the last, they're not really peptides, but I will be talking more of them on this channel. It's HMG, ACG, and Gondorelin. All those play a major role in the sex loop axis, which can really help increase testosterone, and testosterone can really complement growth hormone. So here are some supplements I would take with CJC-1225. First would be some kind of a natural test booster, ideally one that has organs and herbs, because I think growth hormone with testosterone is a powerful combination. Next would be some kind of vitamin D with K2, crucial for good hormonal health. Next would be some kind of DHEA and progesterone, which is something I've actually been playing around a lot with. And small amounts can be super powerful just for having a good HPA axis and is overall complementing your hormone cycle. Next would be DIM, which is an amazing natural herb that helps regulate estrogen, because your body makes more hormones, especially testosterone. It also makes more estrogen, and as a man, you probably don't want that. So DIM is a great way to help balance that out. Another noteworthy supplement would be some kind of natural diuretic like dandelion root, because those can help a lot with reducing water retention. And lastly, NAD and glutathione. They're some of my favorite supplements and really overall complement your cycle. Now let's go into some lifestyle tools I would add into this. And this is a common thing I've seen with growth hormone peptides, and just peptides in general, is that the peptide will load the gun and your lifestyle factor will shoot it. So first, obviously working. Almost my favorite time to actually take growth hormone peptides is actually before a workout in a fasted state. But very important that you're working out, eating health, ideally functional training with an animal-based diet can be very, very powerful for being strong. Can be very powerful for packing on muscle and optimizing your hormones naturally. Some other lifestyle tools.
All right, so we've been like passing the time though. I gotta get my son a shower and get set up for tomorrow. So see y'all soon.